So here we have the Tab A. We have the Tab A 10.1, and this is the 2019 version. I know you're wondering, what does this cost? I need to save some dough. Well, $229 is what the 32 gigabyte of storage version costs. Comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM. Now, if you want to upgrade your RAM, you can go up to 64 gigabytes. They do sell that version at Amazon for $279, or you can go up further to 128 gigabytes of storage, still get 3 gigabytes of RAM. You can get that for $329. Now, for a limited time only, they have that on sale. They have it on sale for the lowly price, same price as the 64 gigabyte version. You can get it for $280 or $279. So that's definitely a really good deal. So that's actually what I got. I have the 3 gigabyte model here. That's what I'm reviewing, and that's really what I want to start on. So it's definitely a good price tablet compared to the competition like the S5e. That's $400 for that tablet. You can get this as low as $229. If you want to get 3 gigabytes and sort of meet in the middle and get a little better performance and stuff like that, you can get that again for about $280 right now. So definitely a good option for you. So just to get a quick look, we'll start off. We'll take a look at the device. We have here the USB-C port. We have 2 speakers. We also have the headphone jack up top. Hooray for headphone jacks, right? Those seem to be going away, but not here. So the S5e went away with that. You can get a lower price device and get a headphone jack. Now this device, I would say it's pretty light, pretty thin. It's actually made of aluminum. It's got an aluminum body on the back, but it's pretty light. It's actually lighter than the older Galaxy Tab A models, so that's a really exciting thing because when I have a tablet, I want something very light so it's easy to hold. It's something I can use for presentations. I could read off it, and that's definitely a thing to look at. So just taking a quick look at the device, it looks great, feels great in the hands. One thing though, one of the most important things in a tablet is the display. You definitely want a device that has a good display. You know, this has an IPS LCD display. It is 10.1 inches in size. It's got a 1200 by 1920 resolution, 16 by 10 ratio. It is a 224 ppi density. And if all that mumbo jumbo is a lot to you, let me just say it's a good display. It's really nice. It's a good HD display. You can see things really clearly. So if I go open up the Kindle app here, decide to do some reading, I made a nice big font here. You can see it's pretty nice. It looks good. I've got the brightness here all the way up. Turn it down a little bit. It's still bright. Still bright. You know, it can read in the dark really easily. You can read in the light really easily. It's really great. So compared to Chromebooks, you know, a lot of people are deciding, should I get a tablet? Should I get a Chromebook? Well, the one benefit of a tablet versus a Chromebook is the display. You know, you can get a display. It might be close or the same resolution as this, but it just looks better on a tablet. It looks better, and when you have a smaller screen, it's going to look better as well. So I have the Chromebook 360, and the one thing that's a little disappointing is the display. And I've had the Chromebook Plus, you know, and I would say this display is better. It's just nicer to hold. It looks great. It's good quality. So it's something that I definitely enjoy in my tablet. It's something that looks good. It also looks good with videos. And, you know, speaking of videos, you could see, take a look at the display. Here are the speakers. See how you like it. We'll listen to some Summer League for a second.
The NBA's all-rookie team last season. And we're underway. Williams controls for the Pelicans. Average 11 points a game inside. And the first field goal of the game for New York. They take a 2-1 lead. That was Kadeem Allen. Take a 3. Nice lob inside. And a backdoor cut for the bucket.
So you could see already the speakers are pretty good on this tablet. And the display, it looks good for videos. It's not going to be one of those 4K displays where it'll have all of that for Netflix or other things, but it looks good. It just looks good. So compare it again. I'm going to do a lot of comparisons. If you have an older Galaxy tablet, like an 8-inch, this will just blow it out of the water. Those displays are normally pretty garbage. But you compare this to the Tab S5e, it won't be quite that good. Won't be quite as good as the Tab S4, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good. So especially when you can get this as low as $230, right? You can get a good display so that you can read and have it looking decent. It's a good device for that. So next we want to move on from the display and we want to move on to the performance. So it does have Android 9 that does affect performance maybe to you. It's got One UI, which is sort of Samsung's new UI, which I do definitely enjoy. Now, I do want to mention the processor. It is a Samsung processor, not Qualcomm, not a Snapdragon. No, it is a Exynos 7904. And that might scare you, right? Samsung made the processor. That means it's not a Snapdragon, but performance is good. It is smooth. Now, I do have the 3GB version here. So it is a 3GB version, but I will tell you it's smooth. I had the 2GB version. I will say the 2GB version did have a little bit of hiccups in Android system. It had some little problems off and on, so I will say that. But I will say this 3GB version does quite well. And I will say it was very smooth gaming. I know that's a part of performance. I did play PUBG a little bit. It recommends medium settings. I ended up having to play on low to get completely smooth performance. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. It will play games okay. The GPU is the Mali G71 MP2, and it's okay, not great. But, you know, it does the job for gaming. So it's not the best gaming device, but for different things, you know, if I want to use it and I want to open up Google News, you could see it loads pretty quick. It's pretty smooth. I could read, I'm a sports guy, you can read about the Lakers acquired DeMarcus Cousins, and it's going to load pretty quick. It's going to scroll quickly. I can get out. Maybe if you're in politics, stay away. You've got Pelosi with a disagreement. You know, I don't know what you're into. Movie Pass, that used to be a thing, and now it's dying. But you see, it's pretty quick, right? Definitely pretty quick performance. So definitely something I enjoy. So, but it really depends on your expectations. Again, it depends on your expectations. If you're comparing this to the Galaxy Tab S4, the Galaxy Tab S3, you're comparing it to your Google Pixel. You know, I've got the Pixel 3a. If I compare it to this bad boy, well, it's gonna disappoint me a little. You know, I can open up CNET, opens up relatively quickly. Open up the first time. Just want to show you here. CNET takes a while to load on pretty much any phone. The Pixel 3a, I load it here. You see it took about 5 seconds, right? 5-6 seconds. I open it up here and well, that was right away. It was already open. Excuse me. Let me start that over. You see, it's taking a little bit of time. You know, it's normal. But you might want to add a second or two when you're comparing to like the Google Pixel 2 or this Google Pixel 3a, which are similar in performance. So it'll take a second or two more to load certain things. But if you have the 3GB version, you shouldn't really experience any stuttering per se. You'll just experience a little bit more loading time on certain things. So it's very comparable to the Snapdragon 630, Snapdragon 625 when you look at benchmarks. Maybe the Snapdragon 450, it's going to be around there. So similar to the LG Stylo 4 or the Moto X4 or you know, the Moto G7, stuff like that. So you should experience good performance, not great. It will be great to you if you're coming from an older Galaxy Tab A. It'll be great to you if you're coming from an older device, but just keep that in mind when you're thinking about performance. Next, I want to talk about battery life and charging. So bad news, this does not work for fast charging. So that might be a deal breaker for you. To me, You barely have to charge a tablet anyway. You just charge it once at night. So no big deal to me, but it doesn't fast charge. That might be a deal breaker for you. But it does use USB-C, which is a big plus. I should also mention it does have a 6150 milliamp battery, and it's again about 1,000 milliamps smaller than the Galaxy Tab S4, but it does just fine. It lasts me most of the day. I'd probably get about 6 or 7 hours of screen time, a pretty decent screen time. And I don't know if that's great. I have high brightness on my stuff, but it lasts me through the day. I leave it sort of sitting on standby all day, use it for 6, 7 hours. It still lasts just fine. So I think most of you are going to be you're at least going to be good with the battery. It's definitely going to be good for you. The other stuff, other little things, it does have a micro SD card slot. So you can have up to a terabyte of SD card storage there. But I want to give you a quick pros and cons, a quick summary of what I found. So a big pro, first off, is there's no Wi-Fi defect. The Tab S5e is a big consideration for many of you, but if you hold the Tab S5e like this, what you'll find is when you hold it like this, you lose Wi-Fi signal. You could lose 1 bar, you could lose 2 bars. It all varies, but you will lose around 20% signal when you do this on the Tab S5e. Now on this tablet, you lose no Wi-Fi. So if that was a problem for you, or you were thinking about not getting the S5e because of that, it may limit your options. And for me personally, there's not a lot of options with tablets that have Android 9 on them around $300-400. I don't want to spend $500. So for me, this is a good option because it has Android 9, it has USB-C, it has a good display. So these are some good things, and it doesn't have a Wi-Fi defect. So it's definitely good display. It's good performance for your money, and it's good performance if you're coming from, an older Tab A, an older Tab E. You're coming from, an older phone, or a prepaid phone. It's going to be something worth it to you. Now, with that being said, here's a couple cons. 1, no fast charging. 2, if you put this in a flip case, okay, boom, screen's still on. Screen is still on. That's right. There is no sensor to tell the screen to turn off. Now, most tablets have that built in, a sensor to where when you do this, it turns the display off or on. But you can see there's no sensor there. So that is a big con for me. There's cheap cases for it. A big plus is you see it has a tempered glass. That's why you maybe have seen some fingerprints. Let's get a good quality shot of that in somewhere. Well, it's hard to see right now. There you go. You see there's tempered glass. It fits well, so that's a big plus. But yeah, that's a big no-no, right? So flip cases, and if you are coming from a device, let's say the 2 gigabytes of RAM wouldn't be enough for you. It wasn't quite enough for me. Then you're spending $280, and you have to ask yourself, is $280 what I can afford? Or can I go up to $450? Because that's when you can go on eBay or place and maybe get the Tab S4. The Tab S4 is typically $500 still right now. I'm sure it'll go on sale eventually, but at the same time, that's a pretty big gap, right? The Tab S5e to me is out because I'm not going to get something, even if I have great Wi-Fi, there's going to be a day where my Wi-Fi won't be great. So I have to keep that in mind and keep it in consideration. So just a few different things. Wanted to share my thoughts with a review with you. Gaming is probably a con. It can only play PUBG on low and get good performance. So please share your thoughts with me. This is my first review, so I really would appreciate any support you can give. Please also like us on Facebook. Please also check out our reviews on our website at androiddigest.com. I know it's my first review. Had a couple weird fireworks go off in the background. It's around 4th of July, so people are having fun. Leave any questions or comments below, and please like us, subscribe. We are new to this, but we really want to keep this going. So thank you so much, and have an awesome day.